How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of Treehouse Jams in the form of their Very Hazy. I've had this before, but I don't think I reviewed it before. Anyway, we're reviewing it now. This can comes courtesy of my boy Max. He dropped a fucking ballistic bomb of Connecticut and New England craziness. This was in there. And I wasn't planning on reviewing this tonight. This is actually the day before. This is Beertuber Palooza Eve, if you will. It's the day before some people arrive for Beertuber Palooza. And I was like, I just kind of want to do a beer review. So here we are. Label-wise, it's, Treehouse. I did their labels. I don't think I've really talked really in depth about their labels, because they're all pretty much the same thing over and over again. But I do like their basic simplicity to their stuff. And as far as the beer goes, I mean, guess what? I'll let you in on a little secret here. This is industry jargon when it comes to beer. It's very hazy. Yeah, it's very hazy. It definitely has that kind of rich haziness to it. How many times can I say hazy? We'll see. It doesn't get to the turkey gravy level, but it definitely looks like just full-on, just bonkers, delicious haze. Quarter pinky finger, 3/4 pinky finger, sorry, of a soft, super tight, compact head with that rich kind of orange with a little bit of cataracty edges. I mean, it is Merriam-Webster dictionary haze. It's got a nose. Yeah, I mean, it has that just classic Treehouse kind of, you're getting that green, nice vibrance, almost like eucalyptus kind of minty kind of greenness off of it. It's like more expressive beyond that kind of pine thing. It's like it has this kind of vibrance to it, a little bit of sweetness, like a crystallized dankness, if you will, like a sugar crystallized dankness, and that little bit of sweet citrus kind of floating around in there. I mean, it's not explosive. It's not hitting me in the face with the 2x4 full of hops, but what's there is really rich and really rounded. Nothing sharp or nothing's kind of singular. Everything's kind of melded together in this really nice, rich kind of melting pot of deliciousness. I mean, it was, this is made in, brewed in, I think this is a Charlton thing, so it has to suck, right? I don't know if it says it in there. Yeah, it actually doesn't even have the actual location where it was brewed, except for Massachusetts, so who knows what kind of garbage this is. There's no date. There's a little bit of coating on the bottom, but I think it got screwed up. But anyway, it smells like Treehouse. Honestly, it's not like super dank, super rich, super explosive. It smells more of a neutral. Soft citrus, a little bit of green, nothing too crazy. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, it has that minty eucalyptus thing that I talk about not all that often, because I dig it, and not a lot of people do it, but this reminds me, it's weird, because I'm going to quote a brewery that probably vibed off of this brewery, but it reminds me a lot of that Cold Creek beer I did a couple years ago. The way that kind of green grass mintiness. And then the way the green comes off is vibrant. It's minty. And when I say minty, I lack the vocabulary to know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to go back to Lancaster and like get in the spices and really figure out this specific flavor. It's really annoying me, because what I'm talking about is it's not minty. It's the effervescence, that minty evaporative eucalyptus thing you get from mint and eucalyptus, but apply that to green, apply it to vegetal, but apply it to grass, apply it to a non-super danky greenness in beer. Combine those two. I'm not quite sure what to call that, so I'm going to have to fucking dial that in so you guys fucking understand. But then again, I find some unique, weird thing, and you'll be like, it tastes like this, and you'll be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Anyway, it has that thing that I really do covet, and I really do enjoy when it comes to these beers, but not a lot of people pull it off, and I really do appreciate it being in this beer, because it's one of my favorite fucking notes, flavors, if you will. Yeah. Getting that really nice citrus that is non-acidic, non-sweet, non-bittering. It's like neutral. Everything is so rounded. It's almost like when I talk about like barley wines, or I talk about like huge imperial stouts, like my favorite thing in the world. And let me rewind. When I talk about barley wine, I'm talking about a core 4 barley wine. When I talk about imperial stouts, I'm talking about a core 4 imperial stout. In order to make those, in my perfect world, in order to make them delicious, they need to be aged. They have to have a little bit of time on it. Not too long, only like 5-10 years. And after that amount of time, you get this nice, really nice rounded edge to it. And when you're talking about a hoppy beer, hazy, it's to pull that off in a fresh beer, which this one I assume is, because Max isn't going to send me a year-old shit, is really fucking cool. I mean, I dig that. I like that soft round edge with an impactful hop presence. The fruit portion of the show comes off right. The kind of green, vegetal kind of presence that I dig that comes off as that eucalyptus thing comes off absolutely beautiful. The mouthfeel is soft and fantastic. This is a great beer. This is an absolutely fantastic beer. Yeah, this is great. I'll drink this all day. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks that they moved and they suck now, right? Yeah. Anyway, let's cut to the chase, because I want to talk about this in a couple different ways. Is this one of the better double IPAs that I've had as of late? It's one of the best, if not one of the best double IPAs I've had as of late. But I also want to put it in its own kind of vacuum, because I feel like Treehouse double IPAs, more specifically this one, just kind of exists in a different kind of plane than everybody else's. And not to necessarily say their beers are way better than everybody else's. That's not what I'm saying when I say they exist in a different kind of plane. They're just different. The way that kind of rounded edge thing works, the way there's a softness to it, all that stuff. It's just, they're really the only one that really kind of pulls that off on a consistent basis. So for me, well, I would like put them up close to the Mount Rushmore of double IPA hazies I've had as of late. It's almost like they're kind of like, okay, it's not really belongs there. It belongs in its own thing for reasons because the beer is just different. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. Value and availability. It's Treehouse. This is probably what, $3 a can? Something like that. $3 to $4. I'm going to leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like hazies. If you like New England style hazies. If you like Treehouse. If you like that minty thing I talk about every now and then. And if you like good beer. Because even if you are a beer purist. If you are a, Belgian beer junkie or a Saison freak or a lambic nerd, all those people, I'm not saying you're going to love this beer, but I think you would appreciate it for what it is and how it's made. You might be like, okay, that was interesting. I would like to drink something else right now. That's fine. But I don't think this is badly made beer. I think a lot of times when people talk about haze, that's kind of their fallback. It's easy to talk about it being just shit beer. And this is not shit beer. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little, very hazy right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.